What's going on, bee herders? Tell you, this has been a crazy busy bee season. My phone is ringing off the hook. People all over the place. All the bees that are missing in the world are in Geneva County, Alabama, apparently. So I'm just outside of Hartford at a friend's residence today. Come over here a couple times for bees, and actually there's a cell tower right beside their home that there's a big colony under that tower, under the support building for it. They're basically in a bunker. It's been a nightmare trying to do a trap out, an abscon. You just can't get to them. They're under concrete. It's crazy. But they're casting swarms constantly, and unfortunately for my friends, they are the happy recipients of some of those swarms. So they've got a colony, and I've already got some FLIR video of it. Colony up under this front porch. They're going in right up there in that corner. This whole section up here is full of comb. It's glowing red and hot. And I came checked on it a few days back, and most of the activity in and out was right in that corner, right there. But today, they found the way in and out above too, so they're kind of up there. You can see that coming in and out. So we're gonna start herding them and getting them out. I'm flying solo today, so hopefully this one won't be too difficult. Short ladder, working over my head. Shouldn't be that big a deal. All right, folks, here we go. I really like to use this oscillating saw because it makes a nice thin cut. And when you're having to replace stuff, you can pretty much put it back and you can never tell it was removed. A little bit of caulk, a little bit of paint, and you're back to normal. This porch is in a little worse shape. They're planning on slowly restoring this home anyway. A lot of this stuff is never going to go back up. They're on the bees already. I don't even have to use the saw. It's just paper thin here. They're crammed in there. I don't want to get all stung because my grandson is supposed to be born on Monday. And while I won't get to see him because of COVID for a few days, I'd rather not be swole up when we do take pictures. Although I've been stung enough now, I don't really react that much anymore. Just a little smoke. I don't know exactly what I'm dealing with yet. I don't want the queen to run off to somewhere I can't find her or can't reach her. I don't think that's going to be a problem here. But I'd rather not take that chance. Oh yeah. I've not been here too terribly long. Good deal. Maybe a month or so, maybe a little longer. No saw today, huh? So it doesn't take them long once they move into your home or into a cavity to start filling it up with comb. Yeah, they could have done this in a matter of just a couple of weeks. And if it was a good strong swarm when it first got here, maybe not even that long. But we're going to start vacuuming bees and we'll have them out of there shortly. Lord willing. So no, these bees are not being vacuumed into the shop vac. They're going into a catch box that keeps them protected and away from that vacuum cleaner. I'll try to cover that a little bit here in a while. As I'm looking at this colony, I see some really good places for the queen to run and hide. So it's going to be crucial how we deconstruct this colony, how we take the comb out to put that queen in a location where hopefully we can find her fairly easily. I'm normally pretty good at that, but on occasion we don't find her, we vacuum her. And so far, I've never had a queen damaged or killed or injured by being vacuumed. Knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. And every once in a while, we don't find the queen. Either she finds a spot where she can evade us, and we never do find her. Sometimes the colony won't have a queen just because of the time of year it is. Perhaps they swarmed, couldn't requeen. We normally know that within just a few minutes of starting the job, whether or not they have a laying queen. I can already see capped brood, so chances are they've got a laying queen. We can see uncapped brood. We know they've had a laying queen in the last few days at least. So, but we'll know. The way they're acting, they're calm. There's a queen in here. Let's see if we can get the bees to come this way, at least initially. Bring them towards the front of the colony. Be careful with the smoke. Hey, you don't want to burn a home down. So we want that nice, dense, cool smoke that we've talked about in other videos. And B, you want to use just enough to get them to go in the direction we prefer. And that queen is going to go play hide and seek. She's going to get away from the light. She's going to get away from the activity. So we're picking out a place where I can allow her to do what she instinctively wants to do, but at the same time put her where I want her to be for the end game. When we can, we like to leave, you've seen me do before, I like to leave a little brood comb for her to hide behind, but it doesn't always work out that way where you can do that. This is some really soft new comb. There may not be a ton of comb in here that we can use. This has got honey and bee bread in it. You can see here capped honey. The darker spots is pollen mixed with honey to form bee bread. That comb is new and soft and very difficult to put in a box. with the rubber bands. As we get back towards the center of the colony, you can see darker comb. It's had a couple of generations of bees hatched out in it. And that we may be able to use. We don't have to travel far, so don't have to worry too much about shaking it up. Just a little smoke to clear that section. Nice heavy piece of new comb because it's full of honey. And pollen. These are small bees. Oh, those got away from me. They're my favorite. They're normally a little better natured. All right, here's cool. This next piece is brood comb. See some cap brood there on that comb. The next several pieces are the same. When I get it down, I'll be able to see if there's any larvae in it. You can see these bees are not attacking me or flying out or really doing anything. They're busy working, taking care of the brood and taking care of the colony. Most of these are younger nurse bees. And they've not matured enough yet to become foragers. So once that bee emerges from the cell that it was laid in as a juvenile, it kind of progresses through a series of jobs within the colony. It doesn't venture out and become a forager until late in its life. Only about 2 weeks left to live. The bees that you see flying around is only a small percentage of the colony's population. And they typically don't have a lot of time left to live. They'll work themselves to death in those last few days of their life. Normally it's only those more mature bees that get defensive, because the last job they do before they become a forager is guard bee. They guard the colony against intrusion. Those bees you see flying around, they're well trained and well prepared to defend and sting the colony. Well, most removals, one of the most important things we do early on is reduce the numbers. That typically helps us take care of most of those guard bees, those bees that are going to release that pheromone, alarm pheromone. See some brood in here a little bit. Uncap. Gently place that piece of comb in a cooler for transport back home. And then we'll put it in the hive box when we get home. Constantly checking this smoker for the temperature of the smoke. Gently puffing it. I certainly don't want to blow a spark up into the house. Okay, last couple pieces of comb I pulled out have capped brood in it, or uncapped brood rather, very small larvae. Try to get you some of that in better light here in a minute, but based on the size of the larva I saw, just a few days after hatching out of the egg. So the queen lays an egg, 3 days later, hatches, becomes a larva. Not seeing any mid-range larvae. There's a possibility, we may know more when we get more comb, there's a possibility that they've requeened themselves fairly recently. She just started laying in the last few days. Not uncommon when a swarm moves in and it will requeen itself. So, and there's a number of reasons why that happens, but we'll know here more in a minute. Stay tuned. Folks, wouldn't you know it, as I cut this piece of comb and pulled it down, I turned the backside to me first. I typically try to do that because if the queen's going to be on it, that's probably where she is. The side exposed to light she's going to get away from. And sure enough, there she was. Really beautiful, big, caramel colored queen. So because we only used a little smoke, we didn't get overly aggressive with it. She was still continuing to do what queens do. She was looking for a place to lay on that piece of comb, even though I was in there cutting away. So we've already got the queen. Lucky day for us. She's a really big queen. She's not going to fly anywhere. Not a long distance anyway. So we'll keep cutting the comb and we'll have it wrapped up. I am seeing some more of that mid-stage larva now, so she's been laying for a little while. Check out the size of that piece of comb, folks. Beautiful. Fairly good laying pattern from this queen. She's gonna be an asset to the apiary, no doubt. You can see they do the same thing in nature that they do in our beehives, those of us who are beekeepers. My honey band's up here at the top of the comb. Food is fairly close, although she's got most of this one filled full of brood, but a couple other pieces. You've seen the honey band, and you'll see the bee bread, and pretty much building that half moon on each piece of comb. You kind of look at it three-dimensional, kind of like an onion, the way they lay the brood pattern and provide the food source around it. Efficiency, it's all about efficiency. Look who showed up. My queen. We'll start calling her Blister. She shows up right after the work finished.
Hey, at least I brought you a drink.
She did bring me a drink and a sandwich now. We've got the queen up there in her clip now, kind of pulling them down, although they're not collecting on her really well. We've got all the comb out. I'm going to vacuum up the last of the bees, scrape off all the attachment points for the comb, clean it out, put some honeybee gone in there, and we'll wrap it up. I said I'd talk a little bit about the vacuum. People always ask me. So I use a large shop vac, and it connects to this top that I built. It has that 1.5 inch, I can't remember if it's 1.5 or 2 inch ball valve on top. Allows me to adjust the airflow and the vacuum pressure. You can see the hole in the back edge. That's where the vacuum hose attaches from the vacuum cleaner. And then it sets on top of the catch box, which is over here in the shade, loaded full of bees. The vacuum hose that I'm vacuuming the bees with attaches in that blast gate. That's just a blast gate for dust collection systems for woodworking equipment. And then the bottom of the box is a pull-out metal tray. So the bees are captured safely in there. I'll set that on top of their new home with their comb placed back in it. Remove the bottom, and they'll move down onto their comb over the course of about a day. Now, there's some great already pre-made vacuum systems out there for rescuing bees. There's everything Bee Vac, which is a really cool DC powered, battery powered backpack style vac that works great. My personal favorite is the Colorado Bee Rescue Bee Vac, which the concept is basically the same. The only difference is that the vacuum cleaner is built into the top, like I have sitting over there, so it's all one piece. And I really like it. However, what I like about this and why I use this system is, especially when we're doing removals inside and having to cut sheetrock or other things, there's always a lot of trash on the floor before we get to removing cones. So I can still use my shop vac to clean it all up. So I've got a nice clean work area before we start cutting comb and bees falling on the floor. So it gives me some versatility, and I've only got to carry that one piece of equipment. But if I were just going to buy a Bee Vac, it would probably be the Colorado Bee Rescue Bee Vac. It's a great piece of equipment. So that's our vacuum system. That's the hose I use is actually for a pool cleaner. It's not completely smooth on the inside, but it's fairly smooth on the inside. And we experience very few dead bees. I mean, you can look, I don't think there's any, maybe 15 or 20 dead bees. Most of those on the bottom of the box are crawling, and all the rest are clustered up on the edges. All right, well, we're going to get her cleaned up. We'll wrap it up here in a minute. What was this, baby?
It was a colony.
It was a colony. It's not a swarm.
Not a swarm.
It's a colony. All right, we'll finish it up here in a minute. Folks, this one is a wrap. Thanks to my lucky first ever bee removal job 8 or 9 years ago shirt. We caught the queen early on this one. Makes life a whole lot easier when you do that. First time I've done one solo in a while, so a lot of work, a lot of up and down. We've got them cleaned out. There's still foragers coming back. This is only a few miles from my house, so I'll probably slide back over here right about dark and vac up the rest of these foragers that are displaced. We've got 99% of them already. So hope you enjoy watching. If you like our videos, please take the time to like and subscribe both on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be pumping out a bunch of videos, a bunch of how-to videos here in the very near future. And hopefully you'll get to see how the new honey house build is coming along. So until next time, y'all keep on keeping on.